Today, I'm honored to be joined by someone who truly walks the walk when it comes to leadership, transformation, and purpose. Leesa Askew is a Toastmasters District 84 International Speech Contest champion, a distinguished Toastmaster, a corporate coach, and the author of When Life Gives You Lemons, Stop Making Lemonade. With over 16 years of corporate experience at places like Merrill, Lynch, and Bank of America, Leesa brings a unique blend of communication expertise, cultural insight, and accountability-driven leadership. She's also a speaker, a mentor, and a voice that challenges people to grow through adversity instead of shrinking from it. Stay tuned for this amazing interview. You're not going to want to miss it. Welcome back to the RJ Chapman Show. I have a special, they're all special, but you know, once in a while you get somebody really special. Today we got Leesa Askew. Leesa, welcome to the show.
RJ, thank you so much. I think I told you about a trigger versus a glimmer.
Right.
So triggers are the things that get you so angry and upset.
Right.
Glimmers are the things that spark joy. And being here is the glimmer of my day. Thank you for allowing me to be in your presence. Everything is incredible. The vibes are great. Your studio is impressive. And I just feel all of your warmth and I cannot be. I feel like I have truly won just being in your presence. So thank you.
Oh my God, who is she talking about? But I will say this. You know, we've been wanting to get you on the show, and it's hard because we only do it one day a month. And so for everybody to coordinate that, when they actually get over here and we get in the studio and we hook up the mics and stuff, it's just a special time to spend with people, especially people that I love and that I see something in them that I don't see all the time in everybody. The job you do with Global Leaders, the stuff you've been doing with Derek, and just being who you are. It just comes through so clearly, and it's so easy to understand.
Thank you so much.
And what do you got going on? You got books, you got talk, you got look.
Yes. Well, just a little bit about me, and
Sure.
again, thank you. I like to call myself a reformed media journalist. I am
Nice.
rehabilitated, I guess I should
The
say.
10 steps.
Yes.
Hello, Leesa.
rehabilitated.
Welcome to the meeting.
And before I even go into that, I do want to give a shout out to everyone who is in production journalism, because we think about our frontline people,
Right.
our teachers, our nurses,
Right.
but whenever there's a tragedy, your media is also there. Like I remember signing my first contract for work, and it says clear as day, if there is a national tragedy, it doesn't matter where you are, you have to come to work.
Wow.
And I remember 9/11 was one of the first tragedies when I was a news producer, and I did the morning show, so I would go to work at 3 a.m., get off at 8 a.m., get ready to get in bed, and boom, the first tower gets struck.
8 o'clock.
Phone rings, gotta get up, and then we worked 48 hours nonstop. And we weren't even in New York; we were in Jacksonville, Florida.
Right.
So I said all that to say I do want to give a lot of respect to people in the media. It's not an easy job, lots of sacrifice. But yeah, that's where I started my career,
Nice.
and realized quickly that the type of personality, and we've talked about this, we're both very positive.
Yes. I love
And
it.
when you work in an industry where they want to amplify tragedy,
Yeah.
it was really depressing.
Right.
Really depressing. And I had a few toxic leaders, because I know leadership is a big thing.
Right.
So I transitioned into finance, sales, and I worked in financial services for a long time. Did some things in beauty. I actually sold laser hair removal once, which
Well, that ship is sailed.
which is great. And I even did assisted living where I sold memory care neighborhoods for, people whose parents have Alzheimer's. And that made me realize that even more the human contact, it's not a commodity. Like this is someone's mom or dad. And it was too heavy.
Yeah.
And so then I got back into finances, and now I work in software sales.
Oh
and,
gosh, what a diversified career. Are you where you want to be, or is there another step?
I think that as long as you have breath, there's always more to do, right? So I won't say yes, but along the way I did write a book. I've done professional speaking all throughout my career, and my book is called When Life Gives You Lemons, Stop Making Lemonade, because people love to say make lemonade.
Right.
But making lemonade is just diluting the issue. But when you stop making it, you have to look at the true lemon, the sour point.
Diluting the issue.
Yes. Which
Look at her eyes. I'm like mesmerized.
our positive, you're my positive like soul brother, right?
Yeah.
And we are always looking at what's the silver lining, what's the silver lining. And sometimes you have to just say, I'm the problem. Because I'm not setting boundaries.
Right.
I'm letting people do this to me.
I'm never saying no.
I'm never saying no.
Gosh dang it, I'm learning that a little bit.
It's tough.
It is tough because you want to help and you want to do, and you don't think there's any boundaries when you're us. There's no limit.
Yes.
We can get it done.
And I have to say, I just have to tout you. Just in my short time that I've known you, you're incredible. You do a lot of things. You're very active, and not only your show, but how much you give back to all the Toastmasters. You started some phenomenal traditions with North Jacks. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
And
I'm very proud of North Jacks. And to tell you the truth, it's really Amanda Dodd. It is not RJ Chapman. And it's Will Hayes. And it's but then you do have to have something in you that they can see as different. See, I can see difference in you in the way you do your things. And before we came out here, we had a nice little meal and we get all cleaned up and all that kind of thing. Look what happens when we go to Global Leaders. We're setting up the water. We've got something nice to eat. It's just that little extra perk that makes it so much nicer for everyone else. And I really appreciate that. And you talk about the people behind the scenes who make all these things happen. This isn't RJ Chapman. This isn't Leesa Askew. This is Jonathan Lindsay.
Jonathan. Shout out to Jonathan.
And you talk about the positivity, and I know we're going to go to the other side, and I'm sort of ready to go. But
you're ready to go to the dark side.
I'm ready to go. I've mulled it around. I'm ready to go there.
Yeah, in our pre-conversation, I know you asked me a little bit just about myself, and I want to say the most life-changing part of my life is when I really embraced suffering.
Oh my gosh.
And understood what suffering is.
Right.
And just your reaction, right? Because we're so positive, we don't want to hear those words. I realized it was like my kryptonite. If someone was saying, woe is me, or I feel a tragedy, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear about that.
Right.
But when I truly learned to embrace suffering is when my life truly became more meaningful and I changed. And I've had different things happen. I mean, my son was born 3 months early, and most people would be like, oh, it's a tragedy, but I didn't look at it as a suffering.
Right.
I remember the neurologist telling me, there's 90% chance your son will be blind. He'll be deaf. And I'm like, fine, we'll get him the best Braille books. We have to get him an implant, whatever we need, we're going to do it. And even when he was born with the brain bleed, I was like, no problem. If he has cerebral palsy, we'll get him a great wheelchair. It's fine. And I still didn't understand what suffering was.
Right.
When I was laid off, I worked for a large bank, and our entire organization was laid off. And at the time, I was leading about 12 people. And then I had to tell them, hey, you're all losing your jobs today, too. And I remember just feeling, because we're empaths, I'm sure you're like that, too.
Sure.
And seeing people be devastated, it was my first introduction to what true suffering was. Wow. When I joined Toastmasters, after not getting a promotion, I went for a senior leadership role several times. I kept getting denied. But then when they hired the person to take the role, I was the main one to train them up.
Okay.
And it just really hit me wrong, right?
Yeah, but you did the right thing. Training them up. And taking the big girl side, I mean, really, Will does that a lot with everybody. I think that's a really great quality.
Agreed. I think that when you say, okay, well, let me not catastrophize it, how can I help? But that's when I did join Toastmasters. This was in 2017.
Dang.
And I remember even having another person give me feedback and said, you're so positive that it's fake.
Oh.
That I just don't know if I trust you. And I remember feeling like, wow. But it made me really be more introspective. And then I understood I am not embracing the tragedies in life. I'm not understanding. It's one thing to say, okay, great, it's going to be good. But really, taking a moment to layer that in. So,
I was just thinking about that when you talk about the tragedy. And I'm an older gentleman. And so I have made it to a particular point where it cannot be the way I portray it. There has to be, and there is. But those things I compartmentalize.
Yes.
And I think it's a term the Navy uses all the time. So I really have to think, and it's difficult to open the door.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult to open the door with suffering.
but it is there. And when I do open it and I do look at it, I look at it for a little while, but I don't look at it very long because I want to get back to the everything's great, the daisies are beautiful.
Awesome. Everything's
but it is
awesome.
kind of cool to look at it once in a while and realize what it has done for you now. That's why we're here now.
Yeah.
It's a leap here, and it shows in the personalities, shows in you, shows in me. I see it sometimes in people, but yeah, I do compartmentalize the thing a little bit.
And I can't blame you. I'm
Yeah.
right there with you. And I do commend you for not getting stuck, because even though we all have suffering,
Right.
some people get stuck on it.
I know.
And then the suffering turns into victimization. And then the victimization turns into catastrophizing everything.
know,
And
the
then you're
drama.
wondering, why is my life the way it is? Because of you. And that's kind of what the book talks about.
Oh, really?
There's 4
Interesting.
different parts of your relationship lemons. We have financial lemons. We even have professional lemons, right? Because sometimes you can't see yourself outside of something, or you allow people to impose their beliefs on you. Then you just take that as your own instead of saying, no, I know
the
I'm
work in.
XYZ. So there's a great book called The 4 Agreements by Don Ruiz. I don't know. And one of the 4 agreements he talks about is don't take things personal. Some people really take things to heart.
Yeah.
And another favorite quote of mine is, no one can make you feel inferior without your own consent, by Eleanor Roosevelt.
Oh, that's
and
good.
I realize that when you are allowing people to make you feel a certain way, you are taking things personal. And
Right.
it is just catastrophizing your own life. So it's kind of like, understand the suffering. What is it? But how am I going to rebound from this,
That's
right?
good.
That's the big thing. That's like the
good.
rebound. Right?
I take a lot of things personally. I do, but I rarely do I show them.
Now, are you a vengeance is mine type
No,
of person?
no.
Okay. So what do
No,
you do
no,
when
no.
you take the stuff personally?
I
You
just
pack
get,
it?
I mean, for a better term, I get butt hurt sometimes. You know, I do something and I know it was blah, 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 but it didn't go quite the way I thought it should go. It's very rare these days though when that does happen to me, but
Yeah.
I'm sensitive. I get my feelings hurt. But very
that's
rarely,
great,
very
too.
rarely does anybody see it.
Yeah.
I don't really want to show that. I'm not going to be the poor me. I'm not going to be the victim. I'm not going to do those kinds of things. But in my mind, I think sometimes I go, dang, I gave a pretty good shot at that. I'm surprised at the outcome. And a lot of that sometimes happens in Toastmasters. But you know what? It's making me grow.
It's suffering.
And I am suffering.
But then
But then I'm growing and I'm realizing there's so much further to go for me.
yes, I think suffering could be your quiet superpower, right?
I agree.
When you suffer and then you realize, okay, and then even if you are compartmentalizing those things,
Yeah.
making sure you give yourself chance to like let it out, right?
Right.
Even if it's just you doing, I mean, you
Yeah.
have this amazing land here. I mean,
Well,
our day is incredible.
I'll tell you-
But just getting out there screaming, taking an axe, chopping wood, something to get that aggression out, right?
I jumped around out there the other day and did a thing on grounding, and I'm going, I'm grounded. we put it on YouTube. It was so
I
much
just
fun.
heard someone was telling. Actually, I get acupuncture now.
Do
every
you?
week.
Okay.
Love it, love
Okay,
it. Shout out to
good.
Jennifer, she's amazing.
Good.
But she was saying you need to ground yourself. So it's funny you say that.
And you know what Will has? Grounding sheets.
Wow.
It's a sheet you put on your bed and you plug it into the plug, the grounding part of the plug, and it grounds you at night. He says he sleeps better and less pain and all this. They're on Amazon.
Okay, I need to know. Look, you need an affiliate link.
But all those things help. You know, you got to, and I was going to say this about the property when you came in and all that. It's nice and everything. And I come into my home and my studio and my friends, and I smile. Just coming in here and doing these things makes me feel good. And that all makes me feel good. So I keep it up because I
Yeah.
want to feel good.
Agreed. And I think that you and I have very similar personalities where it's almost like an addiction to happiness, right? Just anything that makes you happy. I look back at relationships, even personal relationships. I think that when you don't allow people to live in their suffering, it also creates resentment for them, right?
Right.
'Cause being in relationships where I'm like, okay, well, why are we? Yeah, we're not doing this. We're not going to sit there and
Right.
sulk. And I don't want sorrow. Everything needs to be happy. And looking back, that was like toxic positivity for people.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to really understand when you have this personality, because more people will be drawn to you.
Right.
And then the folks who feel like they're dimmed by your light just get forgotten in the shadows.
You know, it's so great you say that, because I find myself trying to lift the people that are feeling that way. And I've had some friends. I tried to be friends with them, and we would do some things, and they were always so. And finally, I just said, you know, I can't do it. I can't change that person. So it takes a lot of energy to do that, you know, to try and bring the other person up and get them to where they look at life and enjoy the dang day.
Exactly. Not letting your suffering be your whole outlook, right? So,
Right.
so yes.
Because it doesn't get any better after suffering. What's below suffering?
Nothing.
More pain.
More pain.
What's below pain? A horrible
Despair.
injury, despair. Perfect. And everybody's got to know. They just got to understand they're going to be okay.
And I tell you not to just put our audience there and feel like, well, what do we do? The way you shift out of that, the easiest thing is in what you said when you come to your property.
I know.
Is gratitude.
Yes.
Gratitude is that magnet for miracles. It will shift your suffering. You have to suffer.
Yeah.
But then you just get into the state of gratitude, right? Like, okay, it's always not as good as you think it is, but it's
Sure.
always not as bad as you think it is.
But what did you get out of that? Do you have more gratitude now, having gone through that wormhole? Yes, you
Exactly.
do.
So
Yes,
you start
do.
shifting it from
That's a
there.
good point.
And then start being in the state of gratitude. And then I love what I call a vitamin song. It's that one song, kind of like your vitamin C that you take
Yeah.
to make your insides healthy,
Yeah.
your spirit healthy. Everyone needs to have at least a playlist or a song. That one song that when you hear it, you feel like you can run through a wall, right?
I got the song. Guess what mine is?
What's your song?
It's The Man by The Killers.
Oh,
You ever heard it?
No, I have not. I'll have to add that.
It just makes you want to leap a building.
I love hearing people's vitamin songs
Yeah.
because it just makes you want to know more about it.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I have
You got one?
several. One of my favorite ones is "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers.
Oh, I
Just
love
like
that too.
"Lovely Day." You just keep
Yes.
saying "Lovely Day" over and over again. You can't have a good thought and feel bad. And at the same time, you can't have a bad thought and feel good.
What's that one? Hey,
cute.
I see fields of green,
Ah.
red roses too. That thing.
And I think to myself, what a
Ooh, yeah,
wonderful world.
Oh,
Yes,
I
Louis
love it.
Armstrong, that's
It's
good.
you know, I sang and I taught school for 14 years, and we would sing. I made them sing. I'd give them the sheet music to some Jimmy Durante song, and we'd and I'd show them a little video, and I go, "Come on, you got to sound like him." And oh my God,
I bet it was fun.
Well,
And
singing is great. I sing
is
loud at church too. I love singing at church.
so good. And
Yeah.
it's such a great release for your soul. Helps you release the suffering, right? The suffering is there.
Yeah.
And then I know you mentioned church, and like the ultimate suffering is with Christ for us. So I feel like if you can look at that, and if you're not a Christian,
Sure.
just any type of spiritual
Sure.
being, like something that's bigger than you,
Yeah.
understanding.
There's a lot of things bigger than me.
Yes, and people who have suffered for you to be here today, for us to be here, right? And then and it puts things in perspective, but at the same time, I think it helps you level
I agree.
ground.
I think of my mom. You know, I do. I think of my mom and this suffering. Because let me tell you, I put her through hell and back. I mean, look at me. Can you imagine growing this kid up? When this guy's freaking 5 or 6 or whatever. So your parents sacrifice a lot.
They did.
And so I'm very proud of my mom.
Oh, and for those of you who haven't, call your mom speech.
Yeah, oh gosh.
Just memorable, that's life changing, and I hope that we hear that speech again.
I think it'll come back. I think it'll make a comeback someday.
I mean, that Stevie Wonder, I just called it. That's probably one on your vitamin list too, because
Yeah,
that's an amazing
it's a cute song, and it goes really well with Call Your Mom.
It does. It absolutely does.
But yeah, everybody's, you go through it, man.
We do.
And you know what? We're probably going to go through it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're probably going to go through it again.
There's another great book that I love called The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. He's the gentleman who did Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Oh, nice.
And in the Success Principles, he has this thing called inverse paranoia, where you take things, because you know how we're like, oh my gosh, you never know. Somebody could come here and hit me, or I can
hit
get
by
shot, or
lightning, right.
oh, I can go in Target and somebody shoot up Target. You have all these paranoias.
Right.
But if you look at it and you invert it and say, everything that's happened to me is for my growth, my betterment, you invert those situations. So even if you did get in a wreck today, Oh my gosh, I got her back. Hey, but I'm here to tell the story. I can still talk about it. This, that. Maybe this is really helping me to. You may have met the person and you could change their life. Who knows? Whatever the case is, you invert the things and then you say, how is this benefiting me? Even though it is something that feels like it's suffering.
I got one for you right along those lines too.
I can't wait
It just
to hear
hit
it.
me. You know, it was probably 5-6 years ago. My wife said she wanted something moved off the wall. And I said, okay. And I got this little ladder and I got up there. You know, the top of the ladder says, this is not a step. They're not lying. I grabbed this thing and I inverted and I landed on the floor and I broke a tooth and I had 11 stitches up here. And going back to your deal, you know what that message was? Slow down. Because we get going, Leesa, you and I, we get going at light speed. And there's times when we got to go. It's called operational risk management. Stop,
Yes.
take a look at what's going on. Is that really going to work for me? And then maybe do it, or maybe not. And we're getting down the line here, and we don't recover as quickly as we normally do.
That part.
So I got to spend Thanksgiving in the ER.
Oh, man.
But
But you slowed down.
I did slow down.
And you appreciate it. And now you read directions more, right?
Yeah, it's not a step.
It's not. Wow. And I know that wasn't fun, but at least you didn't break more, right?
You know, people die falling off 4-foot ladders. Yeah, there was a real silver lining to it.
Yes.
And I was going to say the part about slowing down, and that was triggering me to another area that I always look, and that's my New Year's resolution too. Every year I got the same New Year's resolution. You know what it is? It's not slow down. It's don't get hurt.
Don't get hurt. That's a good one.
It is a good one, and
Don't get hurt.
I'm pretty good at doing it because I pay attention.
Because I know you love you some RJ. You gotta love me some me. That's what I think you have to start off
RJ
with.
does love RJ.
I love me some me. You have to start your day.
Hey, Leesa loves Leesa too.
We love ourselves, right? You have to start because you know what Whitney Houston says, the greatest love of all is learning to love yourself. And that goes into not hurting yourself. And also, I know you gave me some coffee and I was like, let me get some sugar. And you're like, that's not good. But it's so true. It's whatever we put in. Like eating nutritionally dense foods and
Right.
making sure your body is a big science project.
It
We
is.
put in junk and we think that you're gonna have optimum results.
Well,
Bro.
you're doing the acupuncture thing. I'm doing these little patches now. These
The little small acupuncture.
no, they're stem cell replacement things. Wow. Yeah, I'll try anything. I've been because you know I like what I'm doing. I'm having fun.
Love you some RJ.
I do, but I would like to be RJ for quite some time. So I'm not going to ruin the temple. I only got one. I'm going to take pretty good care of it. I might have a cigar once in a while, but you know, you take care of
But you
yourself
don't
too.
inhale cigars.
That's
are like,
right. We just make our mouth taste crappy for 2 days.
No, that's good. It's
Yeah.
so true. The temple. I love how you said that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's when you think about your suffering, if you have a lot of ailments, are you causing the suffering by what you're putting in your mouth, right? And that's some hard conversation
Yeah.
because food is the one thing that no one's really going to judge you, right? If you have this food, alcohol, whatnot, in
Right.
abundance. I mean, if you eat too much kale, that's not good for you. So I'm not saying be extreme either
Yeah.
way, but balance and understanding. And I think that that also helped me too, because I was definitely a stress eater. Just because you know what?
Chips.
That was where my suffering. I can't scream. I can't yell at you. I'm just gonna eat French fries. Oh my!
I love French fries.
I love French fries. But I always get my French fries with no salt. So I felt like that was diet French fries. Right?
Diet French fry.
No salt, please hold the salt. It's just like having a Big
gosh.
Mac and a Whopper, and then you're like, Diet Coke, please.
Yeah, I like that. I like if people do that.
But you're right. Sometimes our suffering is because if you don't feel good, if your body is not operating on optimum, I mean, you would not put Coke inside your gas tank.
Right. That's
But
a
we
good point.
do that with our own selves. And I think a lot of times, so in the book, I talk about that too, is just eating nutritionally dense foods, wondering, sometimes just fasting, right? Give
Yeah.
yourself a break.
Yeah,
You don't need to eat every single day, every single meal.
Probably don't, but I'll tell you something, Leesa. I swear, if I don't get food every 3 or 4 hours, I don't get hangry, but I just get, I almost get nauseous. And I was wondering if there was something wrong with me, and so they did all my blood and all that.
Yeah.
And so if you're supposed to be between a 5 and a 10, I was a 7.5. If you're between I was right down the middle of all my blood work. And you know what the guy said to me, the doctor? He goes, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
So, you know.
Now, do you eat really restrictive? Like, do you not eat a lot of sugar?
No, I don't know. No, I never eat sugar. And bread turns to sugar. So I'm a little leery of bread. Now, I ain't got to tell you, I've had a few pieces of bread. And this is just between you and me. I had a Snickers bar the other day on the golf course.
Wow. Well, you probably were hangry and needed that. Have you seen those Snickers commercials? They make it so convincing.
And they always come out at the perfect time.
Yes. It's like, I need a Snickers bar. It's satisfying. But the power of marketing, right?
Oh, gosh. Perfect.
Yes.
But yeah, you got to go through the suffering thing. I think too, and we've talked about this a little bit, you are going to come out the other side.
Yes.
You are going to be better for it, and you're going to be prepared if and when it comes up again.
Agree. And you just really made me think about looking back. Sometimes we are so hard on ourselves at this moment.
Yeah.
But just look at where you were 1 year. 5 years ago, the whole world was in a pandemic. And it was doom and gloom. People felt like they were going to die. They were this and not taking away, because a lot of people did lose great people in their lives.
Right.
But if you're here for a reason, for a purpose, right? Your chapters of your book are still going on. I remember I lost my father at a very early age. I was 19. And my dad passed away when he was 47. This year, I turned 47. So it full circle to me, because I said, man, at this point in his life,
he was done.
Like, this is the beginning. I have to live every day like it is. Like, there's no canvas. Like, I'm gonna write everything as I go, right?
Yeah.
And do stuff. So I think looking back at your life,
sure.
And for those who are like you and I, the optimist of everything.
Yes.
Look at those suffering points and how you overcame it, and then it puts things into perspective for you right now.
Big time, and it makes my brain. You're talking, I'm thinking. I'm talking, you're thinking, and then we're trying to match it up together, and it's really pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. I didn't really want to go to talk about suffering today. When we were in the house, I'm like, suffering?
I know, right?
How about Christmas? Let's talk about Christmas.
Happy stuff.
Yeah, happy stuff.
Yes.
And then I thought, okay, I'm at that age, and I already said that earlier, where I've been through quite a bit, and happy to be here, and happy about the time we have left in this world to do what we do, to try to get people to understand. I said it earlier, but you're going to be okay. But you got to get on the effort highway. And I always like to throw the effort highway in, because I thought of that. Will steals it every time. But you got to put some work into it when you're struggling and you don't feel good and you're sad.
And RJ, I just have to commend you. First of all, thank you for your service to the country, and how you've been a curator of people managing their suffering, right? Think about all the stories of your soldiers, and even I know you've been part of several the wars and seeing stuff.
Yeah.
So being able to manage that is also a superpower, because if it's not your direct suffering, when you're around suffering, you're an empath. You're going to take that. So how you overcome that is also a superpower. So kudos to you for that.
Well, you're going someplace I don't always go. I spent 5 years in therapy.
Wow.
Yeah, because of a lot of things in the war that happened, and then you start thinking about it, and you remember. Like, I have a handicap thing in my car, and you look at me and go, this guy's not handicapped. And I could tell you why it's there, but then your life would be ruined. And so I don't want to tell anybody anything.
Yeah. No.
But I do know it's there. And then once in a while, somebody brings it up in a certain manner. Ugh.
Well,
but it's still good to know.
I'm commending you, because you have managed, you've rebounded. And I'm sure you probably know people who have not managed that, not rebounded that. So you're
some people aren't with us anymore. And we're doing a show on that pretty soon that's pretty impactful. And that's all the suffering thing, man. I mean, earlier I didn't want to do it, and now I don't want to stop talking about it.
And some people might be on the edge of, I don't know what to do, and they're hearing you, and they're seeing your example, and they feel empowered.
Yeah.
And if you are suffering, I'm sure that we can put resources on the bottom of this. I feel like we got to do that. Be responsible. If you feel, because we don't want to take that for granted, because people do, right?
And you never know.
If you're hearing this, there's a reason you're here. You don't have to let your suffering take you over. Let it be your superpower, your strength. Stand on it. And I commend you too for even saying that you went there, because people don't get the help. There's so much help out there.
There is a lot of help out there, and you just have to ask.
You have to.
I found that out about it. It's funny how this all kind of go into it real quickly, but I went home to my class reunion, which is coming up again, and I thought, wow, this is going to be so much fun, and and it wasn't that much fun. I was surprised how much joy people got out of making my life miserable when I was in high school. And I don't even remember it. I thought it was going to be all my friends and all that, and that triggered something to the war. And the next thing I know, I'm at the VA, and I need some help.
Yeah.
And I was taken care of. I was very well taken care of. I love my therapist. She was great. And it's the door's wide open now. Why'd you do that?
Oh no, but this brings up another thing, that there are things in your life that will trigger.
Right.
We said triggers and glimmers.
Sure.
And folks feel like, oh, it's so far attached, I shouldn't. No, if it's here, it's showing up at this point in your life for a reason.
Yep.
So don't sweep it under the rug and think it's going to be okay. Really, like you said, get help.
And remember this too, you're not the only one.
You're not.
You're not the first one with this gig.
Mic drop. We don't have anything else to say. That's true. You're not alone.
You're not alone.
And people feel so isolated.
And there's a lot worse
suffering.
than, we don't even know the depths of anguish and pain that some people go through. And I know a few too that, they've recovered, they've done well. So it doesn't matter how bad, it sort of matters, but you can. With another human being who holds your hand through this whole thing. Get through it.
And you brought up another good point. It's not a destination, it's a journey that continues to go. So even if you have years of being good and you feel great, something could up. So just don't stop that support. You don't have to have a whole lot of people around you. Just that one person. And if you're spiritual, if it's divine inspiration, something to make sure, because suffering is such a part of life. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. You said you have a 6-year-old niece. It's called Inside Out. It's great. They have Inside Out Part 1 and Part 2, and it talks about feelings. Excellent. It's a Disney film. So it goes through all the feelings, and when I first saw it, I was just like, Joy was my favorite character, right? Because she's happy.
Nice.
But the superstar of the movie ended up being sadness. Sadness ended up making the catalyst and really making the change. And just watching an animated film really made me realize, you really have to embrace every emotion. And it was something else that made me think about, I need to really understand what suffering is in my life and what it's about. So,
and we all go through it. And here's the other thing I was thinking about too is, we're doing this right now, and we're doing all these crazy things we're doing in our lives because we have more to do. We have a lot more to do.
Today
Lisa.
is the first day for the rest of your life. I don't know about you, but I always say I'm living to 106. Some people think I'm crazy.
105.
106. Oh, 105. Okay.
I had a great-great-grandpa, 101, and my great-great-grandma, 100.
Amazing.
And so, I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah. The Blue Zones. Have you seen the whole, there's a book called The Blue Zones. It's the places in the world where it has the most centenarians, right? And there are, and the number one thing in the Blue Zones, because they even have a Netflix special about it, was community. The universal thing was community.
Wow.
Having the people who are like-minded like
you
to lift you up and empower you. So when you are going through your suffering, you're not alone.
Well,
and we are our community here.
It's the Toastmaster community too.
Yeah, powerful. I just came from the International Convention.
I know. It's so good.
It is one of those things. First of all, I think Toastmasters, if you're about growth, it is one of the most reasonable. It's like $10 a month to be in Toastmasters.
Less than Netflix.
Yeah. And you get so much. You meet amazing people. It's how we met.
It's good adult fun.
And it is a worldwide organization. 140 countries have Toastmasters meetings.
15,800 clubs.
And over 100 million, members. It's pretty cool.
It's so good.
But
it's so good. It's like I found a little, I always say family, but it's more than that. Will's my brother. He is, and I got 3 other brothers in there and sisters. And it's when we see each other, even though it's only once a week, we try to get together before that.
Yes.
And it's just wonderful people, nice people. Nobody's being mean.
And you're never the same. You
and
come back. You're
going
to grow. You're going to laugh and learn. Those are my 2 favorite things every day. I need to laugh at something, and I want to learn something. And you will. If you go to a Toastmasters meeting, you're definitely going to hit those two things.
How was it up there watching that big international thing? Was it crazy? How many people were in the room?
Oh my goodness. It had to be, thousands of people. I'm not sure the exact stats, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was close to 3,000 people that were at it.
Well, we watched it on pay-per-view.
Oh, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And hearing someone craft a story in 5 to 7 minutes, that just takes you on every emotion, just like that movie
Right.
Inside Out. It was pretty impressive. I love storytelling. I love hearing people's stories. I love just listening to things. I also love listening to like The Moth and different
Yeah.
things like that on NPR. And it's just fascinating.
I just love it and I've got to say it, when Derek, he says, when he talks to me, I feel very special. And when he talks to me, he tells me some little clues. He throws out some of the breadcrumbs that have got him to where he's at.
Yes.
And you know what? He's there, but we're not too far behind.
Yes, I'm just very grateful. Myself and Linda Sarkis, we got to coach Derek
Right.
for his world championship
I know it.
feat, and it was amazing. I mean, he's top 8 in the world.
I know
It's
it.
pretty impressive. But watching that process, and part of suffering is the work. We all want to be on the end, and I tell people social media is a highlight reel.
Right.
Did you see the thing? And I know our amazing Jonathan
Yes.
competes in all these different Ironman and things like that.
I know.
But do you see when people are to the point where they're nauseous because they're running and getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning doing different things? I love David Goggins. I follow David Goggins. He's crazy, but it's fascinating. Right?
Nice.
And he says, if you're tired of feeling like a fat, you know what, then get out of bed and get to work. And it's like, it's true. That's a part of suffering, is you have to push through when you don't want to do it.
Do you remember the inspirational moment when
You
I
gotta get to the tree.
You got to get to the tree. But the other part I liked about that was you got to get to the tree and you got to do this and you got to do that. But it's when you get there.
Yes.
When you get there, you're
You get
there, and you've got to press on.
Yes.
You got to press on.
And I love that too. Another saying, people always say, oh, you could bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Right.
And I say, people will be there in your life. They bring you to the water. But what do you do to make yourself thirsty? You have to find your own why. Because, and it may not be the conventional people in our lives, right? I think I shared with you, going through
This, that, and the other thing.
all the stuff in life, especially relationships. You realize certain people bring out certain things in you and they make you thirsty.
Right.
But you have to be responsible for that, right? How many times even you mentioned like friends, you're trying to lift them up and you realize it's not. At some point, if I can't want something more for you than you want it for yourself.
Right.
You got to press through that suffering. Because you're sitting in a state of suffering when you don't find what makes you thirsty.
And I don't know why they don't recognize that it's just bad for them, that it's not good for them, and they're not getting any better.
And the way I compartmentalize it is there's always going to be the people who are really excelling and the ones who are mediocre. And I hate to say it, but some of the people around you, if you're the brightest light in the room, you got to change your room. And I mean
that's
that
so good.
I mean that in the most respectful way, right?
No, I agree.
My family grew up, like my paternal family, my dad's family, lived here in Jacksonville in a very economically depressed part of town. And I remember growing up and always hearing, oh, we can't afford this, we can't afford that. And and it's a quicksand. Certain mentalities will just suck you in.
Wow.
And you have to find a way. And it's not just economically depressed. I mean, you can be from a wealthy family and feel like you don't have to do anything. You're so entitled.
Right.
And you don't do the hard work. You don't go through the suffering. Guess what? You're going to be a failure. You're not going to succeed.
Yeah, because when it happens, you're not going to know how to cope. Because you never had to cope before. Somebody told me it's like the guy who has it made. He gets a splinter, and it's the end of the world. And the guy breaks his leg.
He's running.
He's fine. He's doing great. But this one,
yes.
so you got to go through it.
90% how you respond, 10% what happens to you. That's life. 90% of how you respond.
Yes.
Because you take that same tragedy, 10 different people, 10 different responses, and I guarantee you maybe 20% of those people will actually power through the other 80%. Woe is me, they'll lick their wounds. So if you're that person, this is your wake-up call. This is the call to action, how we end every speech in Toastmasters. Are you sitting in your suffering?
That's one of my problems. I never do a call to action.
This is the call to action. Get out of bed.
Yeah.
You want to make that physical goal. Stop eating the junk.
You know what was like the marathon? You know, when Marcus met Marcus.
Yes,
He got
that
to
was so good.
when you get to the 20-mile mark, you meet RJ Chapman. You didn't know RJ Chapman before you got there, and now you're going to meet him.
Yes.
And it's a different guy.
It is different.
It's somebody to be embraced in most of our cases, because we're going to push through. We're going to get it done.
I agree. And you bring up a great point. I think, too, when people want to embrace suffering, going through something physical like that, like I ran a half marathon, the Disney Princess half marathon, which, because of my happy personality, I'm like, the princess, yes. Oh, man. Training for that was no joke. And then I remember it was at mile 8. There was a woman in a wheelchair, and she was doing... And I literally was like, can I just sit on your lap? I just want to give up. And this woman in a wheelchair, because she had no legs,
Right.
it's like,
You want to get back?
you are going to take your legs and keep running. Oh. Do not give up. And I was like, okay. Again, perspective.
Right.
You know, I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, I want to sit on your lap. And she's like, girl, you have legs. Run. Stop belly aching.
Perfect.
Finish that
Get your medal.
that 13.2 miles. Yeah.
That's a long ways.
It is. So my
That's
goal
a
is to
great-
do a marathon.
Yes.
I know that people do ultra marathons. It's like 100+ miles.
Jada probably does all that stuff.
I don't know if I'll get there. But it's one of those things where it's mind over matter. You have to really go through that suffering.
You can
Put
do
yourself
it.
through something.
You don't know you can do it.
Exactly. Even if it's something, I know we talked about the food and fasting. Sometimes
Right.
just if food is the thing you can't, whatever it is, your social media, maybe you lock your phone up for 48 hours and you do not go on social media. Anything to make you have to like suffer and
take
pull
a
away
breath.
from that instant gratification.
Yep, take a breath.
Yes.
This has been so much
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
I gotta have you back, man. We gotta have like episode 2. Let me release some of my dang books and get them out there. But
Oh my goodness, yes, and congratulations
thank
to you.
you.
Your
I'm
book
very-
is amazing.
yeah,
I love
it's,
it.
It's
I
a
love
cutie
it.
little book.
It is
I'm very
adorable.
proud of it. And finally got the other one out the other night, so we'll see what it does. But it's just another creative thing that I never did before in my life. I didn't know if I could do it. And you know, how many have you written?
One, but now you're inspiring me. I need to get to my next one. I really do.
You know, these people.
Maybe I should call it Suffering.
Oh my gosh. Too big eyes on it.
I know, it's like, it's so oxymoronic, right?
It is.
Because most people who know me will probably say, oh my gosh, she's so happy.
Yes.
I remember Pastor Jim at North Jacks, I saw him, he's like, are you ever angry?
He's great.
A great
And I think
guy.
people would say that about me too. And now that they've watched this and we've talked about that, they're going to know a lot more. And we've been there. We've both been through some things, and we're alive. We're doing good.
Yes.
Got plenty to do.
And vulnerability is a superpower too. So it's like suffering, vulnerability, all the things that we don't like to talk about
Yeah.
really make us who we are, even with
Yeah.
a smile. So
Oh,
this has been amazing,
I
RJ.
love it. I love it. And you better love it too. It's probably one of the best things we ever did.
My friend, thank you. And I loved being here, and I have met both of my goals for the day. I've laughed and I've learned so much. So thank you.
Thanks again. You guys watch it. It's a wonderful.